Alright, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm finally getting back to the Vise stand that I started working on. I don't even remember how long ago, like at least a couple weeks now that I started working on it, but since then my grandpa doesn't really use this welder anymore, so I kind of tried to breathe a little bit of new life into it. I put some lawnmower wheels on there and I took it apart and cleaned the insides and everything like that, and put some shrink tubing and stuff on the leads and made sure that was all good, and tried cleaning up the stinger the best I could. And I also made a box so that I can run 240 volts, because being that these brake rotors and everything I'm going to use is cast iron. Well, at least I know this is cast iron. I don't know about about the rim, but these rotors are for sure cast iron, so we'll see if we can get them to stick. Right now I'm going to try and weld this. I went ahead and marked just kind of where this thing will be sitting, and then I'm going to go grind off that paint, come back and fill this up with weld, and then flip this over and then weld a plate to the other side, and then after that weld a piece of this tubing and then a plate on top of that, and then hopefully have a Vise stand, but we'll see. Who's that? I see you hiding over there. Who's that? Who's that? Dukester. What's up, big man? What's up, big man? What's up, Dukester? What's up, dude? What's up? You on lab duty? You on lab duty? Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and chop this chunk off here and use that, and I should more than likely have a lot better luck with that, because that's just normal mild steel, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, instead of messing around with these cast iron brake rotors. Chop that off and then maybe make it somewhat of like a stop sign looking thing, being that I don't have an acetylene torch, and then we'll see from there. Alright, well alright, well, it has gotten basically, well, not basically, it has gotten absolutely nowhere. so far, but I did, however, get a light mounted up in a tree, so that should help my case at least a little bit. And as far as getting a video goes, should probably help that as well. But if my luck is anything like it normally is, it's probably going to start raining as soon as I start welding or doing something actually productive. That's hot still. Okay, well, 5 million years later, I guess, but I'm gonna have to come back and grind all this paint or whatever this stuff is off here. But then I should be able to weld all this, and should be able to get a decent good bit of weld on in here and whatnot. So, all right, before I go welding anything, I'm gonna try and get these holes drilled prior to doing any of that. The right tool for this would probably be a transfer punch, but I'm gonna see if I can get it lined up somewhat enough with a center punch. We'll see if I can even get holes drilled through this or not without too much of a hassle. Alright, well, I got 3 of the 4 holes drilled so far. I broke a bit just now because I forgot that there was a little bit of weld that I must have had some sort of something tacked onto the back of this at one point, and I forgot about it, and as soon as the drill bit hit that part that was welded, it just snapped it. But I was able to just grind out the other side of it and get that drill bit to pop out, which was nice. I think I was going from 7/30 seconds up to 3/8 and then up to half. And these bits are pretty cheap, I know that, and she's getting pretty chooched and shattered. We'll see if we can get one more hole out of this thing.
see this.
Okay, after a bunch more time with the angle grinders, I cut this end of this square tubing and this end flush as square as I could, and I got my plate cleaned up where I needed to weld this to it, and I also cleaned up on this wherever I needed to weld. Alright, the GoPro battery is probably going to give up on me again, but I got that plate for the vise tacked on there. Well, not tacked on, actually I got that welded on all the way. I don't know how well you can see that, but that worked pretty good. And then I got this somewhat squared and with the ground clamp, so I should be ready to tack this and see if it's gonna work at all. Alright. See if I can move it like I want to. I think it should roll pretty decently. I don't know if it's quite heavy enough yet, but yeah, that seems to roll pretty good so far. I haven't finished making this so it's not square and sharp edges yet, but see if the vise fits on it first, and then don't know if I'll get to that tonight or not, but dang it, dropped the bolt. Nice, there's one. If all the other three go in, I'd be very happy. No, that's a good one. Ooh, there's three. Might have to do some finessing for the last one. No way. Didn't even need a transfer punch, baby. Alright, well. Sweet. I don't know how well you can see that, but should be pretty much what I was trying to do. yeah, paint it. Might have to add some weight. We'll see once I start doing some projects with it, but end up chopping these bolts probably too, and then should call this one good. Hopefully, should hopefully last for quite a while. All right, here's another look at this vise stand I made during the day here. This piece of square tubing I used had these holes in it already. I think it was some sort of a trailer hitch or something along the lines of that. I don't know if you can see that. There's what the welds ended up looking like. Plenty good enough for what I'm doing, so. Huh, Duke? What do you think? Is that good enough? Yeah? No? Yeah? But just gonna, I think I am gonna end up adding more weight, whether I do that with steel or concrete or whatever, but for now I'm just gonna leave it how it is and hit it with some paint, clean it up a little bit. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, and I don't really know what colors I want because I got black and yellow, so I think I'm gonna do this yellow and this black, and see what it looks like after that. Hey, get Ed. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. That's all you got. That's all you got. All right, before I paint this thing, I got it flipped upside down here, and I'm gonna attempt one more time to stick this rotor on here, just because I weighed this thing and it's only like 50 pounds right now, and not that this adds that much more. I weighed this also. This is like 13 pounds, so it'll be like 63 pounds after that. But and if that ends up not being heavy enough, then I'll just probably end up pouring some bag of Quikrete or something in here. But now that I'm welding this to actual steel and not this, well, this is steel as well, but there's actually some meat here, some metal to stick to, so we'll see if we can get it to stay on there. I mean, all it has to do is sit there and add weight, because this is the plate that's providing any of the structural support or anything like that. So, all right. Yeah, I think I'm should be good with that. Alright. Got this thing painted. I think I only did one coat of the black, excuse me, and then 2 coats of the yellow. Now I'm just going to take it off and throw one more quick coat of clear coat on there and call it done. I think I have some clear coat. That one's almost empty, but I know I got matte. Oh, matte clear. More clear. Alright, I picked up a different bag, and well, I got 2 different bags of quick bait here. Initially I was going to use that one, but that one takes quite a while to set and get hard, so I'm going to try the quicksand stuff, and then plus I don't really know how this is going to work at all in general, so we'll see. But so as of right now, like I said, it's only like 50, or I think I can't remember, 80 pounds or something with the rim, and I welded a rotor under there, and then like a big plate and this piece of tubing and this plate and vise. So I'm gonna try and get at least, hopefully I can get half of this bag at least, or if I'm lucky I'll be able to fit some more in. But I might also do this top part right here too, where it goes down, just so I can make it as heavy as possible. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get any of the concrete to go down through that tiny gap, so I'm just gonna have to flip it over first and then wait for this stuff to get hard on that side, and then flip it back and do this side. I'm gonna pull this thing off and get to it. hopefully that's close. All right, well, I mean, obviously the edges aren't pretty and they are probably gonna fall out more than likely, but as long as I'm under that lip on the inside there, I think I'll be all right. Just so it doesn't get all wobbly and wiggly, but I got the majority of that 50-pound bag in there, so that was all that's left. So I don't know, we'll see, let this sit here for an hour or so and then check back on it. But I think it should be all right. Try and wipe off the rest of the stuff on here, but other than that, it should be good. So, all right, it's been like just about 2 hours and this stuff should be plenty good and hard enough for flipping it back over and seeing if it's flat enough. Like I said, the edges there, my main thing I was trying to do was make sure it's under like the rim, the bottom edge of the rim there. And I think it's pretty close. I also think I could have made that Quikrete a little bit more wet, but I mean, I've never really messed with that stuff very much, so we'll see if I don't think it should fall out, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't, because I'm going to be rolling it quite a bit. Hopefully it doesn't like break apart and stuff, but guess we don't know till we know. Alright, well excuse me. Alright, well I got this thing as flat as I can physically get it with a angle grinder, and like an angle grinder for the stone and for the steel, because I ended up coming back and trying to make that part, the rim that contacts the floor, flat too, but it's seemingly becoming impossible. So I'm just gonna put this, it's like some sort of shelving matting material. I'm just gonna try and glue that. Clean this. I already vacuumed all the loose dust and everything. I'm gonna clean this really good and then put a ton of that spray adhesive on there and see if that stays on, because that should make it not wobble and stuff. Okay, well, let that dry for a bit and then flip it back over and hope that it doesn't wobble, make noise, and if it does, then I'm just gonna have to leave it until it drives me nuts to the point where I fix it the next time, but hopefully I won't have to do that. All right, well that piece of matting, table shelving material is glued on there now, good. So I'm happy with the bit of wobble that's left. I spent more time than I needed to trying to get that perfect when it probably won't be perfect anyways. So it's plenty good for what I need to do anyway. And it's significantly heavier now too, so I can actually put some stuff in it and bend it and hopefully not have to worry too much about it. But and it also still rolls good, so that's one of my main concerns. Was one of my main concerns. So should last me maybe, unless hey, what are you thinking? Unless it gets left outside or something, and even then with the paint on there, should last quite a while. I think this was part of a receiver for some sort of a trailer. I think I got like a free, I think it was a sailboat trailer from Facebook Marketplace or something like that. But so I mean, there's potential to use those holes for something in the future because they actually line up perfectly because they were done in presumably some sort of like a boat trailer factory. But yeah, so I mean, for some scrap metal, an old rim, some rotor, a brake rotor, some crusty old plate steel from a old rusty tractor that was sitting in my grandpa's, sitting down by my grandpa's house in the woods. I've been making all sorts of stuff out of this because I mean, it's good steel. And then yeah, so all right, well, on to the next thing.